Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and enjoy
Mega Meeple!
Greetings and welcome to the Mega Meeple, the show all about gamers and the games that bring them together. This is episode 59. I think I'm gonna have a little competition with myself here. I think I'm gonna see how long I could draw out that M at the beginning of the show and see. Wow. My record this episode is 55 seconds. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how. Maybe it'll turn into a record of how fast I could lose listeners. That will be. All right, well, for the next few episodes, you are going to be hearing a sort of like a rotating door, a revolving door, or whatever the hell they call those things, of some special co-hosts come in over the next few episodes, so we will see how that goes. I'm not saying I'm kind of auditioning people for the position, but we'll see how. We'll just see what happens. But you know, for the color commentary section of the episodes, I will be joined for the next few weeks with some co-hosts, and just kind of like rotating them around type of thing. So you'll hear a different voice banter with me each week. So looking forward to that. This week, I submitted my fifth or sixth video segment to the Board Game Breakfast. This week, me and all my dice have a little come to Jesus meeting. We gotta have a little talk. We'll have to tune in to the Dice Towers YouTube channel to see how that works out. But I mention that because when you spend all the time like talking to a camera or talking to a microphone and just like putting it out there into the interwebs, you'll wonder if anybody's even listening or what kind of feedback. We don't get much feedback. That's why I kind of miss going to some of these conventions and stuff to actually meet people face to face that listen to the show and see me on the show on the videos. But every once in a while, we get like a comment, or in this case, an email. This is one of those things that when you receive something like this, it just lets you know that you're doing good. You're heading down the right path, and just keep on doing what you're doing, or if anything, improve upon what you're doing and get better at it. So this stuff like this is what the purpose of doing all this is. Email came via the Contact Us page on our website. And for those of you who haven't yet figured out what that site is, or maybe this is your first time listening, it's www.themegameeple.com. And you'll find out all kinds of information, and that's your starting point, so to speak. So we stream all of our episodes there. We have a bunch of reviews and interviews, and all of our social media stuff is listed there. If you want to follow us on other gambits like Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or anything like that. And also lets you know how you could support the show if you want to. But there's a Contact Us page there. And this lady filled out that page and submitted a message to me. And basically, the comment is, I read it, hello, I am Angela from the Netherlands. and I wanted to send you this email to let you know that I really enjoy the Mega Meeple segment on Board Game Breakfast. Hope to enjoy it for a long time. Keep up the good work. I've seen your segment about what kind of gamer you are, and I am the kind of player or gamer who plays to have fun and a good time with family and friends. I started to play games at a very young age with my grandma. I still have fond memories about that. I really don't mind losing. It is the fun and the experience of playing the game that is the most important to me. So thank you for the entertaining segment. Kind greetings from Angela. Well, Angela, thank you so much for that kind email and message. That's pretty much the bottom line is, you may or may not remember the specific game that you were playing at the time, but you certainly remember the fond times and maybe the humorous situation in which you win or lost the game, and just how being with family and friends. And to me, that's really just the main reason that we do this is gaming and board gaming and RPGs and stuff are fun, but when you come right down to it, it's really just the common denominator. It's the common interest, but it's the friendships and the memories that are gonna last and be with you for a long time. We're just using board gaming as a catalyst for an excuse to get together to create those memories. So again, thank you, Angela, and for any other people who want to send us messages or emails or connect with us on social media, and let us know how much you've enjoyed my content, be it on the podcast or on our YouTube channel or on the Dice Towers YouTube channel. And if you have any advice or anything that you would like to hear about or see sound off in the social media or the comments, to let me know, and I'll see about putting that together for you.
Every single hour in FLGS, a gamer plays a new game. Out of the 98,000 games on BGG, only a few are given the playtime they deserve. For tens of thousands of games, the joy of being played by happy gamers everywhere is something that they will never know. Will you be an angel for one of these lost games? Every day, innocent games are ignored, unplayed, and left to die on the shelf of shame. And they are crying out for help. Please go to our Pod Pledge page and support the Mega Meeple with a monthly gift right now. For just $5 a month, only 17 cents a day, you'll help rescue a game from the dust bunnies. You'll provide card sleeving, miniature paints, dice rolling, and baggies. Go now and pledge to the Mega Meeple, and you'll receive numerous rewards, including shoutouts, as well as exclusive content and merch. A game can be given a second chance at life, thanks to you. Right now, there is a lonely game that desperately needs you. Your donation says, I care, and I'm here to help. Please donate right now. Links are found on the show notes of this episode and on the Mega Meeple website.
Well, my guest this episode is Markus Geiger, talking about his game Chibi Commander. So let's go to the interview right now. All right, welcome back to the Mega Meeple. And our guest this time is Markus Geiger, and he has a game called Chibi Commander. How you doing, Markus?
Hi, Thomas. I'm fine, and you?
Doing good. So, where are you located right now?
I'm located in Germany and place near Munich, a small village.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, we're getting more international guests on recently on the podcast. So yeah, good to have you added to the echelon of gamer designers. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into gaming, and what kind of games you like.
Okay, I started very, very early with gaming, with I playing chess, and then later on some more strategic games like BattleTech and some Risk, Risiko in German. I don't know. I guess it's Risk in English. Some strategic game. You try to conquer the world. Very simple in basics, but we love to play it. And then what we play? Squad Leader, role-playing games, Shadowrun, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And do you know Supremacy?
Not by that name. It may be named something else over here.
That's some kind of Third World War strategy game. Very old, I guess.
Okay.
And that was one of my all-time favorites. Very old, but I very love it. And Space Hulk. What was the name in English? I guess Dark Crusade. I played.
Okay.
And many games. And then I play. I don't know, about 5 or 10 years. I not played so much. And then I started programming and developing video games for PC and for handies, especially for iPad and iPhone too.
Okay.
And that was the time I was starting developing board games again too, because randomly I meet some company. They make some the core was called Public Solution, and they make some like virtual reality board games. You have some console, and they know where you your units staying on the board and moving, and they're talking with you. And I make some simulation, programmed it in software, and that was the start for me making board games again. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So when and I call this the barroom napkin question, because a lot of good ideas start off with it all, just scribbling on a barroom napkin. But how do you come up with the idea and the concept of Chibi Commander?
Chibi Commander is it was not called a Chibi Commander. The name is just 1 year old, where I picked up the project and make it final. And about, I don't know, 15 years or 20 years, I thinking about the idea making some game like UFO, XCOM, just a sport game. And have the feeling of XCOM and the game elements, but just as a quick and not too complicated, but a strategic, complex or interesting game. And I meet a friend of me, and he thinking about the same idea for, I don't know, 10 years too. A little bit not so long than I, but very long too. And so we're talking about realizing XCOM, but he going his way and I going my way, very differently. And about a little bit more than 1 year ago, I decided, okay, well, start with Chibi Commander for Kickstarter, because it's relatively easy to produce. You don't need miniatures, you need just printed graphics, and so you not have the extreme cost. You don't need a $100,000 budget or something like that. And so I started with the idea.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about the game, what the different mechanics are, and victory conditions, and how do you play it?
The main thing about Chibi Commander is every unit have some character card, and the card is the unit itself. You stay at the map with some plastic standees, and on this cards you have all parameters of the unit. You see the life points, you see different kinds of actions. You have 2 actions every round you can perform this, and you have, for example, moving 2 fields and attack, or just moving 6 fields, or move 2 fields and heal somebody. And so you can choose different actions, and you see with one blick of your eye on the board every abilities of all units. You not have to take some sheet or some rule book to take a look what they can do. You can just see it, and so you not waste a lot of time to take care about what they can do and what not and so on. And this is the main feature of what makes it a quick game. And the missions itself, you have very different kinds of missions. For example, at the beginning, you're starting at some countryside map. There's some UFO coming down, and you have houses, some normal people running around, and some animals too. And you set up your squad somewhere at the map, and then you get randomly mission objectives. It can be that you just want to enter the UFO to steal technology, or you have to kill all the aliens before they can make some damage to the normal people. It also can be that you have to kill the normal people that nobody talk about UFO landed on Earth, so no panic start up. And the enemy don't know your mission. You just take it randomly out the mission book, and your enemy makes the same thing. And so the mission goes on, and you can play a mission like that in a half hour. And so it's short enough to play a whole campaign. And because after this mission, the surviving units can get level ups. You just get victory points if you make your mission objectives successfully. And with that, you upgrade your units to get some new classes, just higher like the normal soldiers, some commanders, and whatever. The aliens have the same thing, but very different. It's asymmetric. So there's no pendant for a Chibi Commander unit in the alien. They have a real different kind of how they play and how they move. For example, aliens are quicker, not so tough with health points, and Chibi Commander are stronger but not so quick, and they have some differences between. And the campaign goes about 6 missions, and you have the countryside map. Later on, you have some alien attacking cities with many houses, or some big complex where you have to secure the president or something like that. And everything have some variations. You can set up the map differently every time. So if you play it 10 times, you have 10 times a different mission with different objectives. And finally, the aliens attack your base, and you attack the aliens on Mars. And if you're lucky, you win. If you're unlucky, the aliens win. Yeah.
All right. Now, I understand that this is also a digital edition as well as the board game?
It's Tabletopia, I guess you know it, some digital board game online page. I set up the game so you can play it only on computer if you like.
Okay.
But primary, it was planned to give it away first printed, so you can order on Kickstarter the printed material, or you just download the digital edition and print it yourself, because you need only a color printer or some print station somewhere, and you can print, cut it, and start playing. And I started a Kickstarter. The first day ran very well, but I guess many people waiting for it. That's why the first day was a success.
Uh-huh.
But then it slowed down very dramatically, so it doesn't make sense to run it to the end. So I stopped it and give it away to all people supported it on Kickstarter for free, also the digital edition for downloading. And they right now start to produce it and start playing soon.
Now, this game is available worldwide, or how can people get a hold of the game if they want to play?
At the moment, it's available digital, so you have to download it, and it's for free. You just have to enter my webpage, chibicom.com, and just enter your email address or mail me, and I add you at my mail list, and all people at this mail list get the download link, so they can just download it, and they get some update if I change the rules or something, or we get some new custom units, then they get the update. So I know them and they know me.
Oh, sweet. All right. Well, so talking about that, let's if people want to know more, or they want to download the game, or find out more about you as a designer, where can they go?
About me, I guess so. I have some produced some games. So if you take a look at a Board Game Geek, for example, or Chibi Commander on Board Game Geek, you see me as designer, and you see some 2 games, Alien Wars and Tara's Core for eView. That are 2 games I make as designer, and I have some publisher bringing it out. And one was Public Solution, and the other one is I guess they changed the name. They have 3 different names, so I don't want to tell you something wrong. And but there was this French company. They make the design and the book for the first King of Tokyo, for sure. And they make the first edition design. That was the same company. And they picked me up at some invention, and they make some card game from me. And Chibi Commander is the first game I made myself. And at my web page, you can, about me in person, I guess not too much. I have another web page. I make some 3D design, animations, and so on. That was called Schattenzauber. It's some German page. But I have some Facebook page too.
Okay.
So I guess if somebody want to see more about me, I have a lot of videos. For example, the ChibiCom page about how to play it. Some of them I make my own, and I have some YouTube channel too, and there are other videos from me too, and links to my Facebook page. So I guess you can find out about me.
Okay. All right. And we'll put links to those things in the show notes of this episode.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Well, thank you so much for downloading and listening to this episode. Join us again next week when my guest will be none other than Brenna Noonan from Starling Games. We had back on episode 35, we had James Wilson from that designer of Everdale. That's a Starling Games game. But Brenna and I talked about, we talked about quite a few things. So you have to stay tuned next week's episode to find out what. Well, if you haven't already, go over to iTunes and subscribe. And while you're there, give us a 5-star loving. Put out a happy review. Really appreciate it. Helps us out. And of course, you can follow us on all our social media stuff. The website is www.themegameeple.com. And we stream all the past episodes there. And you also see some reviews of some products and games. And also you can contact us directly, like Angela from the Netherlands did this past week. Now, if you'd like to support the show, you could support via our Pod Pledge or Patreon page. Again, the links to those are also found on the social media page on the website. But if you can't donate or support, you could still support the show just by word of mouth and let people know about the Mega Meeple. Word of mouth really goes a long way. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you'll join me next week. And until then, this is Tom Grogan, the Mega Meeple, saying we will see you at the gaming table.